Welcome to Maasranga News. This is Rashida Rahman. First, the headlines. A Dhaka court ordered Khalida Zia to appear in person by March 3 to face a sedition charge. Cabinet approved Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Act 2016 to make the migration process easier. More than 50 people have died in Taiwan as a cold snap sweeping across East Asia. Those were the headlines, now the details. A Dhaka court has summoned political opposition BNP chief Khalida Zia to appear before it to explain her remarks on 1971 martyrs after taking cognizance of a sedition case against her. Dhaka Metropolitan Magistrate Mohammad Rashid Talukdar passed the order on Monday. Lawyer Momtajuddin Mehdi had appealed to the CMM court for cognizance of the case on Monday morning. Aminuddin Manik, one of the lawyers of plaintiff's side, said Begum Zia has been ordered to appear before the court by March 3 for an explanation. The case is based on her comments made last month on the number of people martyred in 1971 Liberation War. During a discussion on December 21 last year, Khalida Zia said that there were doubts about the number of martyrs killed during the 1971 Liberation War. The government on Sunday had given its green signal for the filing of the case. The Cabinet on Monday approved the draft of Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Act 2016 to make the migration process easier. The decisions were made at a regular Cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Emerging after the meeting, Cabinet Secretary Shofiul Alam told reporters that the safety issues of expatriates' family members has been incorporated in the latest draft. This is a detailed version of the act that was first prepared in 2000. The Cabinet Secretary said. The Cabinet also approved a proposal to sign a deal with Turkey in the field of military training and cooperation. Under this deal, the military doctors from both countries can undertake training in other countries, and exchange of these doctors will take place. A draft proposal on intergovernmental agreement on dry ports agreement was also approved on principle during the meeting. The Election Commission decided to hold election in some 1,000 Union Parish during the first week of April 2016. The EC is expected to announce a schedule by mid-February. Election Commissioner Javed Ali said this to a group of reporters this morning. He also added that Union Parishad polls will take place in several phases. The Commission has already started amending the electoral rules and code of conduct to make the election possible. After holding the 10th parliamentary polls, the Election Commission organized the Upajala, the City Corporation and the municipal elections. Now it is preparing for the polls to the lowest tier of the local government. The moderate wave that has been sweeping across the country for the past few days is likely to turn severe from Monday. The weather will start to warm up again after a couple of days, but the feeling of cold would remain for a few more days because of strong winds, according to local Met officials. The cautionary words came as country's lowest temperature was recorded in Gopalganj with 6 degrees Celsius on Monday. The northern districts experienced a similar with the coldest weather recorded in Chuadanga, Pabnas, Ishordi and Dinajpur respectively. The poor who do not have warm clothes in Rangpur, Gaibandha and Kurigram were the worst sufferers as bone-chilling winds made the cold more intolerable in northern parts of the country. Sources in Lalmonirhat says locals there are confined in their homes because of the numbering cold outside. As a result, the laborers who must work on fields every day to earn a living has been out of food. Shops in the area are staying shut while people's presence on the roads still remain thin. Meanwhile, due to the dense fog and low visibility, normal ferry service have been disrupted with long hours of delays in Paturia, Dologdia and Shimulia Kaurakandi route. Noted journalist Altaf Mahmood has laid to rest at his family graveyard in Golachipa Upazila of Patuakhali on Monday morning. The burial service was held 11:30 a.m. after namaz-e-janaza at Jainpuri Khanka in Golachipa with participation of thousands of people from all walks of life. Earlier on Sunday, a helicopter carrying the body reached Golachipa around 4:30 p.m. Earlier on Sunday, Altaf Mahmood, the president of Bangladesh Federal Union of Journalists, died at Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University in the city. Now international news. A cold snap sweeping across East Asia has led to more than 57 deaths in Taiwan and stranded at least 60,000 tourists in South Korea. Many of those who died in Taiwan were elderly people living in northern regions. The north saw an unusual low temperature of 39 Fahrenheit on Sunday, and many homes in Taiwan lack central heating. In the capital Taipei, many victims reportedly had heat trouble and shortness of breath. Taiwanese media reported a rash of deaths from hypothermia and cardiac disease following a sudden drop in temperature over the weekend. Meanwhile, heavy snow forced the closure of airport on Korean holiday island of Jeju, canceling flights. The cold spell has also hit Hong Kong, southern China, and Japan. Millions of people across the eastern U.S. are clearing up after the weekend's massive snowstorm that virtually paralyzed the region. They have been digging out their cars and clearing pathways for snow which reached 3 feet in 5 states. Public transport remains disrupted as the working week is set to begin. Many flights have been cancelled. Government buildings in Washington and many schools will be closed on Monday. At least 29 deaths have been reported since Saturday when the blizzard began. As a result of car accidents, carbon monoxide poisoning, and heart attacks suffered while shoveling snow. In New York City, which saw its second highest snowfall since records began in 1869, a travel ban that effectively shut the city down has now been lifted. At least 63 people, including 9 children, have died in airstrikes believed to be carried out by Russian warplanes on town of eastern Syria, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says. The raids on Kasham, near the city of Deir al-Zor on Sunday, were among a series of strikes that also hit 2 other towns in past 48 hours, killing scores of people. Russian jets have been bombing around Deir al-Zor as Syrian pro-government forces clashed with Islamic State fighters who control most of the province. The group has besieged remaining government-held areas of the city since last March and last week launches new attacks. Before ending the news, the headlines once again. A Dhaka court ordered Khalida Zia to appear in person by March 3 to face the sedition charge. Cabinet approved Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Act 2016 to make the migration process easier. More than 50 people have died in Taiwan as cold snaps sweeping across East Asia. That's all from me. Our next bulletin will be in Bangla at 6 p.m. Keep watching Maasranga television.